Very good afternoon to you, everybody. Meteorologist Dante Jones here in the Weather Center. Want to interrupt coverage here of your program just to give you a heads up that we've got a severe thunderstorm warning now. Looks like this one here actually is producing maybe a tornado. There's that couplet right there. That's what we're talking about. This red is the winds going away from the radar site, and this green is coming towards. So that's how we know that there's some spin or rotation in the atmosphere.
We are setting News Center 7 reporter Michael Gordon up to Mercer County to track this storm as it's coming in. Of course, we're not going to put him in any danger. The National Weather Service near Fort Recovery, there is a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado that is occurring near Fort Recovery. Wow. So at this point in time, if you are in and around Fort Recovery, if you're near St. Joseph, Wendlandt, back to St. Henry, you need to be in your safe spot at this moment.
Okay, this one's near Noble, Indiana, which again makes sense. That's where
another one here, Dante.
Another one there. Yep, looks like that one too as well. So we're seeing all sorts of confirmed pictures. Yeah, these are all textbook right here. When you study tornadoes and you kind of look at some of those starting off, that one right there looks like it's just starting, and that one right there, right in the middle of producing maybe some damage to the cornfield.
And it looks as though there is a lowering there of that storm cloud. And perhaps that tornado being caught on camera.
That looks like that
right
is
in the
that
center
tornado.
of your screen.
Right there where where they're zooming in, that right where that tree and that house is right behind there. Looks like that's confirmation video right there of that tornado.
We have on the line Mercer County Sheriff Jeff Gray. Sheriff, thanks for taking your time this afternoon. We've been uber focused on your county for the better part of an hour. Can you give me a better indication of what you're hearing from sheriff's deputies, EMS out your way as far as damage and confirmation that we've seen so many pictures of tornadoes on the ground in your county, sir?
Yeah, we've got a lot of damage, and I'm aware of 3 or 4 houses that have been hit by the tornado. The fire departments were out checking on those. So far, we're not aware of any injuries.
We are now on scene. We are looking here at what my producer tells me was Storm Tracker 7 and a barn that's look as though it's destroyed. Now, what I don't want to do is I don't want to take away from the severity of this current tornado warning that McCall and Dante have been covering. But again, you can see right there, you're looking at the damage to that barn there off to the left. You're seeing a truck with a gooseneck trailer leaving the scene here. We just got on the scene here within the last 60 seconds.
I will say, though, before we get into this assessment, the Weather Service is canceling that tornado warning. Good. If you were in that area with the tornado warned storm or even to the east near Fletcher, that warning has been canceled. So you can go ahead and come out of your safe spot at this point in time. I
understand that Michael Gordon is able to pass along a little bit of information. Michael, if you could just step out of the way, please. We'd like to hear what you have to say, but let's continue to let our viewers see the damage there.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is on Burrville Road, and this is a farm with about a dozen facilities on it. Now, this happened within the last hour. We can tell you that there's also a dozen community cars that have pulled up, and we've seen people, neighbors, running in the last just half an hour or so since we pulled up. They're going in, and you can see where they've already got construction vehicles there going in there to help and pull apart. There's one main storage facility with the roof completely torn off. We can see the roof and part of the silo. It's off about 100 yards to the left. There's a gentleman running by me right now with a chainsaw. They're going in there to try to pull things apart. Now, the most important thing I can tell you is I did talk very briefly to a gentleman who was running by. I said, did everyone get out okay? And are there any injuries? He said everyone's fine.
And Michael said, you know, people are coming quickly, and they just keep coming and keep coming. And again, if you have livestock in those buildings and trying to save livestock, and again, we saw that one gentleman running down the road and then off into the field with what looked like to be a chainsaw.
Yeah, you have to know that these small towns, they know the farmer, they know the people that live in that farm, and so it is nice to see them coming together right now. But when we were looking at the house, it is a sturdy structure and thankfully was not damaged like the barn. But what you'll also see when you zoom in on the home itself is that the windows were shattered by flying debris. So that is why we always say get to the most interior part of a sturdy structure, because if you were anywhere near those exterior walls or those windows with debris flying in. You're talking about a dangerous situation with glass shattering. Looks like there may even be a hole there right to the upper left-hand side of that lower window. It looks like there's a dark spot there that maybe some debris punctured the home there.
Right there. We've seen, you know, in years past, we have seen.
Oh, yeah, it looks like you have,
I was going to say, a piece of wood right there.
Look at that wood just right through the side of the home.
Yes. We want to check in real quick. Mike Robbins, he's the Mercer County EMA Director. I believe we have him on the line. Mike, good evening, sir. Can you paint us a picture of what you're dealing with up your way in Mercer this evening?
Yeah, James. I am out in the area now, seeing some damage, a lot of farm buildings damaged. We do have some cattle loose. There was damage at Fort Recovery Lumber, some roof damage. We do have houses damaged. I haven't seen any houses destroyed.
New tornado warning that has been issued for southern parts of Darke County. Also now includes southern Miami County, northeastern Preble County, and northwestern Miami County. This is the same storm that we have been tracking.
Unfortunately, we have to slightly amend the earlier report. No people have been injured, and there has been no loss of life in terms of people or any of the folks who are here. However, I was just down there for the last 45 minutes, and we're going to walk this way a little bit. I showed you earlier when we did this first report, and I'll step out of the way just a smidge, but earlier you saw this big hustle and bustle of cows, and it's about 120 yards off, and look where it's empty right now. All the livestock, there was an open pen there with cows and goats and pigs, and I told you that it looked like part of that area had been damaged. Well, in the interim time, I've been able to go down that way, and a large chunk of the gating around it was blown away. But that was not the worst of it, as unfortunately, I did notice that multiple animals, specifically multiple goats, had been killed by damage. It looks like something had been collapsed or covered over onto them.
With this part of the thunderstorm to the northeast of Lewisburg, where that possible funnel cloud may be forming and trying to develop into a tornado. The difference between a funnel cloud and a tornado is funnel cloud is where you see what looks to be a tornado developing. It doesn't get the tag of a tornado until it touches the ground. So there may be some funnel clouds trying to develop there on the southwest side of this storm. In the northern tier of this storm, hail is likely, and it appears indications that radar is showing anywhere between an inch to an inch and a half diameter hail. If there were any cars parked outside hit by that type of a hailstone, we will likely start to see more and more photos of dents in people's cars and things like that.
I've seen hail like that when I grew up in Colorado. That would total a car.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how destructive that is.
Yeah, and that's not just one hailstone. That's not one little dent that you're getting in your car. No. That's coming with a bunch of other hailstones.
That's a path right there. So
it looks as though that looks like a cornfield or soybean field, what have you, but it looks as though it came from screen left and then right, because it came across that farm field that's been planted, and then it dropped.
Right.
Look at the damage there.
And that's going to help the National Weather Service tremendously. Yeah.
You know, where we were just seeing Michael in our shot a few minutes ago, he was screen right. You can see where that house was in the corner that we showed earlier.
Yep.
But again, as you can see, just, you know, I mean, the power of Mother Nature, guys. Yeah. Even if it's even though it's a EF1, EF2, whatever it might be. Yeah. Still, to see how it just tosses things around. Looks as if
this also lets me know too that the winds now have backed off tremendously since the storms have come through, because we're actually able to send Sky 7 up, and we can't send that up when the winds are even breezy within about 20-25 miles an hour.
Certainly, James, a lot of damage and a lot more information coming out. Now, what I can tell you is that what we're looking at here is actually two farms. We have the Lynx farm on the left, and on the right, this home belongs to Sean O'Connor. I spoke to Sean O'Connor, and he told me that he and his people, he and his family are unhurt. They were safe when the storm came through. They said they could heard it. He said it sounded like a train coming overhead.
There's the rainbow, folks, and you know, you see people out there in that field here at 7:15 at night picking up pieces of wood, of what's left of a farm family's life. you know, you wonder the story, the history of that family there that's run that farm, and they're off in the distance. You see that rainbow, you know, it puts it in perspective. And, you know, folks, I want to thank you for hanging with us here for the better part of almost 3.5, 4 hours. I work with the best in the business. McCall, Dante, I mean, they hit a home run every day. They work their tails off, and I don't say that just because I work with them. I mean, I see their passion for doing what they think has to be done. Dante's here on his day off, but both of these two knew the severity that we faced this afternoon when it came to this severe weather. So if they need to jump back into programming tonight because of severe thunderstorms or, heaven forbid, another tornado warning, you can bet they will do so. I want to thank all of the folks out there this afternoon that have sent us the videos, the pictures, and have kind of been our eyes and ears in different parts of our community. Thank you for doing that. Please stay safe. And, you know, I just got a text here from a woman, Kim Yurkowski. She's the one that sent the picture about the hail.
Okay.
Said her grandson was so excited that we talked about Grandma on the air that Landon wanted his name mentioned as well. Landon, you look out for your grandmother. You keep it on WHIO and WHIO.com. Make sure Grandma stays safe and everybody else. So, you guys, anything else?
Nope. We'll just be here through the evening, and we'll cut in if necessary if there's any more severe warnings, flash flood warnings, or tornado warnings.
Folks, as always, we appreciate your company. And again, that right there puts it in perspective as to just how bad things can get, but just how good things can be in our community, whether it's just down the street, down the road, or across the county. A live shot there tonight from Mercer County, as we say. We'll see you a little bit later. Please be safe tonight.